Hey, I'm Mia, a 16-year-old from LA whose life flipped when I started moving stuff with my mind. It cost me memories and threw me into danger. This story's wild, so subscribe, and share to join the ride. My name's Mia, and if you told me a month ago, I'd be levitating a freaking tiara in front of my entire school. I'd have laughed in your face. But here I am, 16, stuck in the middle of West Side High's biggest drama, with a secret power I didn't ask for and a best friend who stabbed me in the back. I'm just a regular girl from Los Angeles, or so I thought, trying to survive high school and maybe snag a college scholarship. West Side High's annual West Side Queen pageant was my ticket out, $10,000 for the winner, enough to get me started at UCLA. I'd been prepping for weeks, perfecting my walk, my smile, my speech about empowering young women. My best friend Chloe was supposed to have my back, hyping me up, helping me pick out the perfect dress, a sparkly silver gown that made me feel like a freaking superstar. But Chloe had other plans, and they didn't include me winning. It all started at the pageant rehearsal, 2 days before the big night. I was backstage, adjusting my dress, when Chloe rushed in, all fake tears and drama. "Mia, oh my God, I'm so sorry," she wailed, holding up my gown. The hem was shredded, like someone had taken scissors to it. "I found it like this in the dressing room." My stomach dropped. That dress cost my dad $500, money we didn't have to spare since his auto shop started tanking last year. I grabbed it, my hand shaking. And that's when I saw the smirk she tried to hide. "You did this," I hissed, stepping closer. Her eyes widened, all innocent. "Me? Why would I? I'm your bestie." But I knew her. Chloe's been low-key jealous since I got picked as a finalist over her. She's always wanted the spotlight, always needed to be the main character. I was too mad to think straight. "You're a liar!" I screamed. And something weird happened. My head pounded, like a migraine on steroids, and the dress, it freaking jumped out of her hands, floated for a split second, then ripped in half, right in front of us. Chloe shrieked, stumbling back. "What the hell, Mia?" I froze, staring at the fabric on the floor. Did I do that? No way. I'm not some X-Men reject. But my heart was racing, and my hands felt tingly, like I'd stuck them in a socket. Chloe bolted, muttering about me being a freak, and I was left alone, freaking out. That night, I locked myself in my room, trying to make sense of it. I stared at a pencil on my desk, focusing hard, like in those cheesy superhero movies. Nothing. I felt stupid. But then I got mad, thinking about Chloe's smug face. "Move, damn it," I thought, and bam, the pencil shot across the room, smacking my poster of Billie Eilish right in the face. I screamed, then clapped my hand over my mouth. My dad was downstairs, probably half asleep watching The Bachelor. No way could I tell him about this. He'd think I was high. I tried again, this time with my phone. It wobbled, then floated an inch off the desk. I laughed. But then a sharp pain stabbed my head. And a memory. My old dog Max. The one I'd had since I was 6. His name, his fluffy brown fur, just gone. I couldn't picture him anymore. I dropped the phone, panting. What was happening to me? The next day at school, I avoided Chloe, but she was already working her magic. By lunch, everyone was whispering about how I'd trash my dress to get attention. "She's so extra," I overheard some junior say. My face burned. I cornered Chloe by the lockers. "Why are you spreading this crap?" I demanded. She flipped her hair, all smug. "Because it's true. You're a drama queen. Mia, everyone knows it." I wanted to slap her, but that tingly feeling came back, stronger. A nearby water bottle on the floor started shaking. I took a deep breath, forcing it to stop. "You're gonna regret this," I muttered, walking away. That's when I noticed him, a guy I'd never seen before, leaning against the wall, watching me. Tall, maybe 20, in a black hoodie, with eyes that didn't blink, creepy. I shook it off, but my gut told me he wasn't just some rando. The pageant was tomorrow and I was screwed. No dress, no chance. But I wasn't giving up. I spent all night sewing a backup dress from an old prom gown my cousin left at our house. It wasn't perfect, but it'd do. I showed up at the auditorium, head high, ignoring the stares. Chloe was there, strutting in a red dress that screamed, "Look at me!" The show started, and I nailed my speech, even got some cheers, but during the talent portion, Chloe accidentally tripped me on stage. I hit the floor, my dress tearing at the seam. The crowd gasped, then laughed. I looked up, and Chloe was smirking, whispering to the judges. I wanted to disappear. That's when it happened again. The tiara on the display table, it freaking levitated, spinning in the air. People screamed, thinking it was a prank. I panicked, trying to stop it, but my head throbbed. And another memory vanished. My first sleepover at Chloe's, painting our nails and giggling. Gone. The tiara crashed, and the judges called a break. Backstage, Chloe pounced. "I told them you rigged the stage for attention," she said. "You're done, Mia." I was shaking, tears burning my eyes. "Why do you hate me so much?" she laughed. "Because you always get everything. Friends, grades, the spotlight. Not anymore." That's when I snapped. "I'm gonna prove you're a liar," I said, storming out. But as I left, I saw him again, the hoodie guy, standing by the exit, holding something that looked like a weird gadget, glowing faintly. He didn't follow me, but I felt his eyes on my back. I got home, furious, and decided to test my power again. I focused on a lamp, making it float, then spin. It felt good, like I was finally in control. But the headache came back, worse. And this time, I forgot my middle school graduation, me in a dorky cap and gown, Dad cheering. I collapsed, crying. This power was costing me, but I couldn't stop. I had to expose Chloe, no matter what. The next morning, I heard rumors. Chloe was telling everyone I'd cheated to get into the pageant, and the judges were considering banning me. My scholarship was slipping away. I had to act fast. I snuck into the school's AV room, using my power to unlock the door. Another memory gone. This time, my favorite beach trip. I hacked the pageant's live stream, planning to play a clip of Chloe bragging about sabotaging me. But as I worked, I heard footsteps. The door creaked open, and there he was, hoodie guy, stepping inside, his gadget now glowing bright red. "You're making a big mistake, Mia," he said, his voice low, like he knew me. My heart pounded. "Who are you?" I asked, backing up. He smiled, cold. "Someone who knows what you are. Stop using it, or you'll lose more than memories." Before I could answer, he was gone, like he'd never been there. I sat there, shaking, but more determined than ever. Chloe wasn't winning this. I'd use this power, whatever it was, to take her down. But deep down, I knew I was in over my head. Something bigger was coming, and I wasn't ready for that. I was still shaking from the creepy hoodie guy's warning, but there was no way I was letting Chloe win. My scholarship, my reputation, everything was on the line. I sat in my room that night, staring at the hacked live stream file on my laptop, ready to expose Chloe's lies at the Westside Queen pageant's final round tomorrow. But my head was spinning with questions. Who was that guy? Why did he know about my power? And why did using it feel like I was losing pieces of myself? I tried to focus, but my eyes kept drifting to an old photo on my desk. Me and Mom, back when I was 6, at Venice Beach. She'd been gone for 10 years, vanished without a trace, and Dad never talked about it. I pushed the thought away and got to work. But deep down, I felt like this power wasn't just random. The next morning, I headed to school. My stomach in knots, the halls were buzzing with pageant gossip, and Chloe was milking it, strutting around like she'd already won. I spotted her by the cafeteria, laughing with her new clique, probably trashing me. I clenched my fists, and a nearby trash can wobbled. I forced myself to chill. Losing another memory wasn't worth it. Not yet. Instead, I ducked into the library, hoping to find a quiet spot to plan. That's when I saw it, an old cardboard box in the corner, labeled donations. It was random, but something told me to check it out. Inside, buried under dusty textbooks, was a leather-bound notebook with E. Larson written on the cover. My mom's name. My heart stopped. I flipped it open. And the first page hit me like a truck. If you're reading this, Mia, I'm sorry. I never wanted you to inherit this curse. My hands shook as I read on. Mom wrote about having the same power, moving things with her mind, but every time she used it, she lost memories. Just like me, she mentioned a group called the Collectors, who hunted people like her, wanting to harvest their abilities. She'd been running from them when she disappeared. The last entry was dated the day she vanished. I have to protect Mia. They're coming. I slammed the book shut, tears burning my eyes. Dad had to know something. I bolted home. Ignoring the pageant prep chaos at school, Dad was in the garage, tinkering with a busted carburetor. Mia, why aren't you at the pageant? He asked. Wiping grease off his hands, I held up the notebook. What is this, Dad? Why didn't you tell me Mom had powers, or that some creepy group was after her? His face went pale, like I'd punched him. Where'd you get that? He stammered. Answer me, I yelled. He sighed, slumping onto a stool. Your mom. She made me promise not to tell you. She said it'd keep you safe. I thought the power skipped you. Mia, I didn't know. Didn't know? I snapped. I'm losing memories, Dad. Every time I use it, I forget something. And now some guy's stalking me. Talking about the Collectors. Dad's eyes widened. You've seen them. Mia, you have to stop using it. They'll find you. I can't stop, I said, my voice breaking. Chloe's ruining my life, and this power's the only way to fight back. He grabbed my shoulders. Promise me you'll stay away from it, for your mom. But I couldn't promise. I left him there, notebook clutched to my chest, and headed to the pageant. The auditorium was packed, lights flashing, music blaring. Chloe was on stage, giving her fake I Love Charity speech. I slipped into the AV booth, my heart pounding. I plugged in my laptop, ready to play the clip of Chloe bragging about sabotaging me. But as the video loaded, that tingly feeling hit again, and the laptop screen flickered. I focused, trying to keep it steady, but pain stabbed my skull. Another memory, my 10th birthday, blowing out candles with Dad, gone. I gritted my teeth and hit play. The clip blasted through the speakers, Chloe's voice, loud and clear, saying, Mia's so dumb. She didn't even see me cut her dress. The crowd gasped. Chloe froze on stage, her face white. People started booing, and the judges whispered furiously. I smirked, thinking I'd won. But then the screen glitched, and a new video played, one I didn't upload. It was me, in the AV room last night, using my power to unlock the door. The crowd went silent, then erupted in chaos. She's a freak, someone yelled. I bolted from the booth, my face burning. Chloe caught my arm outside. Nice try, loser, she hissed. But you just tanked yourself. Before I could answer, I saw him, hoodie guy, standing by the bleachers, his gadget glowing red. He stepped closer, and I swear his eyes flashed, like they weren't human. I warned you, he said, raising the device. I panicked, focusing on a nearby chair. It flew at him, knocking him back, but the pain in my head was blinding. Another memory, my first day of high school, nervous but excited, vanished. I ran, weaving through the crowd, and didn't stop until I was blocks away, gasping for air. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You can't hide. Mia, we know what you are. I deleted it, my hands shaking. I needed answers, not more threats. That night, I went through Mom's notebook again, looking for clues. One page mentioned a Dr. Dana Pierce, a physicist Mom trusted. I Googled her. Dr. Pierce was a professor at Caltech, still in Pasadena. If anyone knew about this power, it was her. I snuck out, taking the bus to Caltech, my heart racing. The campus was quiet, but I found her office, a cluttered mess of papers and weird gadgets. Dr. Pierce was there, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes. "Mia Larson," she said, like she'd been expecting me. "You look just like Elena." I held up the notebook. "You knew my mom. Tell me what's going on." She sighed, locking the door. "Your mom was part of a secret experiment in the 90s, Project Nexus. It was supposed to enhance human cognition, but it gave some people abilities, like yours. The collectors are a rogue group, ex-scientists who want to weaponize those powers." "Why me?" I asked, my voice shaking. "It's genetic," she said. "Your mom passed it to you. But every time you use it, it rewires your brain, erasing memories to make room." I felt sick. "Can I stop it?" She shook her head. "Not without losing more. But I can help you control it. Your mom wanted me to protect you." Before I could ask more, the window shattered. Two figures in black masks burst in, holding devices like the hoodie guys. "She's ours," one growled. I focused, sending a desk flying at them, but the pain hit hard. Another memory, my mom singing me to sleep, gone. Dr. Pierce grabbed my arm. "Run!" We bolted down the hall, but the collectors were fast. I didn't know where to go or who to trust. All I knew was I couldn't stop fighting, even if it cost me everything. My lungs burned as Dr. Pierce and I sprinted through Caltech's darkened halls, the collectors' footsteps echoing behind us. I could still feel the sting of losing that memory of Mom's lullaby, another piece of her gone forever. "This way," Dana hissed, yanking me into a stairwell. We ducked into a basement lab, all blinking monitors and humming machines, and she slammed the door, barricading it with a metal cabinet. My head was spinning. Project Nexus, the collectors, my mom's powers. It was too much. "Who are these psychos?" I gasped, catching my breath. Dana's face was grim. "They're not just scientists. Mia, they're obsessed with your kind, people with Nexus abilities. They'll lock you up, experiment on you, or worse." I shivered, thinking of Hoodie Guy's cold eyes. "Why didn't Mom tell me?" Dana softened. "She wanted you to have a normal life, but you're in deep now. You need to learn control, or you'll burn out your memories." Before I could ask how, a loud bang shook the door. "They're here!" I whispered. Dana shoved a USB drive into my hand. "This has Nexus data. Everything I know. Find Ethan Caldwell. He's like you. And he's close." The door splintered, and two collectors burst in, their glowing red gadgets aimed at us. I focused, my head throbbing, and sent a lab table crashing into them. Pain seared my skull. And another memory, Mom pushing me on a swing, laughing, vanished. Dana screamed, "Go!" I bolted, clutching the USB, and didn't look back. I hit the streets of Pasadena, my heart pounding. Ethan Caldwell, whoever he was, better have answers. I hopped a bus back to Westside High, figuring school was the last place the collectors would look. It was late, the campus empty, but I needed somewhere to hide and think. I snuck into the science wing, using my power to unlock a classroom door. Another memory gone. My first crush. Some dorky kid named Jake. I cursed under my breath, hating this curse. As I sat in the dark, plugging the USB into a school computer, I heard a noise. I froze, expecting a collector, but it was a guy my age, tall with messy black hair and a skateboard under his arm. "You're Mia, right?" he said. his voice low. "I'm Ethan." I stood, ready to bolt. "How do you know me?" He smirked. "Dana sent me. I saw you at the pageant, levitating that tiara. Nice trick." My jaw dropped. "You're like me?" He nodded, then flicked his hand. A pencil on the desk spun like a top. "Nexus kid, born and raised. Been dodging the collectors since I was 12. I stared, a mix of relief and suspicion. "Why should I trust you?" He shrugged. "You shouldn't, but we're both screwed if we don't team up." The USB loaded, showing files on Project Nexus, experiments from the 90s, brain scans, and a list of subjects. My mom's name was there, along with Ethan's and mine. "They knew about me this whole time?" I whispered. Ethan nodded. "The collectors have been tracking Nexus kids forever. They've got a lab downtown, where they're holding others like us. I think your mom's there." My heart leapt. "She's alive?" He hesitated. "Maybe. I've been trying to break in, but I need help. You in?" I didn't even think. Hell yeah. But before we could plan, the classroom door flew open. Chloe stood there, her eyes wide. "Mia, what are you doing here?" I groaned. "Not now, Chloe." She stepped closer, glancing at Ethan. "I saw you running from those guys at Caltech. I followed you. What's going on?" I laughed bitterly. "Like you care. You ruined my life." Her face fell. "I know I messed up, but I'm not the bad guy here. Those creeps in black, they came to my house, asking about you. They're dangerous." I didn't buy it. "You're just covering your ass," Ethan cut in. "She's telling the truth. The collectors use people, threaten them. She's scared." Chloe nodded, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Mia, I was jealous. But I didn't know it'd go this far." I wanted to scream, but we didn't have time. "Fine," I snapped. "But stay out of my way." Ethan and I mapped out a plan to hit the collector's lab in downtown LA, a sleek building disguised as a tech startup. The USB had blueprints and security codes, but Ethan warned it'd be a fortress, cameras, armed guards, the works. We'd need my power to get in, but every use was a risk. The next night, we staked out the lab from a rooftop across the street, the LA skyline glittering behind us. Ethan handed me a burner phone. "If we get split up, call me. Don't do anything stupid." I rolled my eyes. "Says the guy who skates to a break-in." He grinned, and for a second, I felt less alone. We crept to a side entrance, and I used my power to disable the lock. Pain hit, and a memory, baking cookies with Dad last Christmas, gone. I gritted my teeth as we slipped inside, dodging security cams. The lab was all white walls and buzzing machines. Like something out of a sci-fi flick, we found a server room, and Ethan hacked in, pulling up files on Nexus prisoners. My mom's name flashed on screen, with a cell number, B17. "She's here," I whispered, my voice shaking. But as we moved to the cell block, an alarm blared. Guards swarmed, and a collector in a sleek suit appeared, holding a glowing device. "Welcome, Mia," he said, smirking. "We've been waiting." I threw a chair at him, but he dodged, and the pain in my head was brutal. Another memory, my first day at Westside High, meeting Chloe, gone. Ethan grabbed my arm. "We gotta move." We ran, but Chloe appeared out of nowhere, blocking our path. "Mia, wait," she yelled. "I can help." I froze, torn. Was she playing me again? Before I could decide, the collector raised his device, and a red beam shot out, hitting Ethan. He collapsed, groaning. I screamed, focusing all my power. The room shook, equipment flying, but the pain was unbearable. Another memory, Mom's face, smiling at me, faded. I fell to my knees, gasping. As the collector closed in, Chloe lunged, tackling him, giving me a second to grab Ethan and run. We made it to a stairwell, but the alarms were deafening, and I knew we were trapped. I looked at Ethan, barely conscious, and Chloe panting beside me. "Why'd you help?" I asked her. She shrugged. "Guilty. Because I owe you." I didn't trust her, but I needed her. The collectors were coming, and Mom was so close. I had to keep going, even if it meant losing everything. The stairwell was a trap. Red emergency lights flashing, alarms screaming in my ears. Ethan was slumped against me, barely conscious from the collector's beam, and Chloe was panting, her eyes darting like a scared animal. I could hear boots pounding closer. Guards, collectors, maybe worse. My head throbbed from losing that memory of Mom's smile, and I felt hollow, like I was running on fumes. But Mom was in cell B17, so close I could almost feel her. I wasn't giving up. "Mia." "We're screwed," Chloe whispered, her voice shaking. "Shut up," I snapped, dragging Ethan toward a side door. I focused, my power buzzing in my veins, and the lock clicked open. Pain seared my skull. And another memory. Dad teaching me to ride a bike. His proud grin. Gone. I stumbled. But Chloe caught me. "You okay?" she asked, actually sounding worried. I ignored her, pushing into a dark hallway lined with steel doors. Cell numbers glowed faintly. B14, B15. My heart raced. "We're close," I muttered. Ethan groaned. "Coming too." "Mia, you can't keep using it. You'll forget everything." "I don't care," I said, my voice breaking. "She's all I have left." We reached B17, a heavy door with a digital lock. I tried my power, but nothing happened. My head was too foggy, like I'd hit a wall. Chloe stepped up, pulling a hairpin from her bun. "Move," she said, kneeling to pick the lock like some wannabe spy. I raised an eyebrow. "Since when do you know this?" She smirked, nervous. "Long story. Let's just say I'm not as basic as you think." The lock clicked, and the door swung open. Inside was a woman, thin and pale, her dark hair streaked with gray. She looked up, her eyes, my eyes, wide with shock. "Mia," she whispered. My knees buckled. "Mom?" I ran to her, hugging her so tight I thought I'd break her. She was real, alive, but her hands were cold, trembling. "You shouldn't be here," she said, her voice hoarse. "They'll kill you." Before I could answer, the alarms cut off, replaced by a low hum. The lights flickered, and a voice echoed through the hall, calm, cold, like a snake. "Mia Larson, you've made this far too easy." It was the collector in the suit, stepping into the doorway, his glowing device now pulsing blue. Behind him were guards, their weapons trained on us. Ethan staggered to his feet, glaring. "Let them go, you freak," the collector laughed. "You're all so predictable." "Mia, your mother's been our guest for years, helping us perfect our research. You'll join her after we extract that power." Mom grabbed my arm. "Mia, run! Don't let them take you." But I was done running. I looked at her, then Ethan, then Chloe, who was weirdly quiet, clutching her hairpin like a weapon. "I'm ending this," I said, stepping forward. The collector raised his device, but I focused harder than ever, my whole body shaking. The room erupted. Chairs, tables, even the guards' weapons flew, slamming into walls. The pain was unbearable, like my brain was splitting. Memories flashed and faded. My first kiss, summer camp, Dad's laugh, all gone. I screamed, collapsing. But the collector was down, pinned under debris. Mom knelt beside me, crying. "Mia, why?" I could barely speak. "Because you're worth it." Ethan and Chloe dragged me up, and we ran, Mom leaning on me. The lab was chaos, sparks flying, machines exploding. We hit an exit, bursting into the LA night, the city lights blurring through my tears. But the collectors weren't done. A black SUV screeched up, and Hoodie Guy stepped out, his gadget glowing brighter than ever. "You're out of time, Mia," he said. I was too weak to fight. My power drained. That's when Chloe did something insane. She charged him, swinging her stupid hairpin like a knife. It caught him off guard, and he stumbled, dropping the device. Ethan dove for it, smashing it against the pavement. The SUV peeled out, leaving hoodie guy cursing. I stared at Chloe, shocked. "Why'd you do that?" She shrugged, wiping blood from a cut on her cheek. "I owed you. And I'm done being a bitch." I almost laughed, but my head was too heavy. Mom squeezed my hand. "We need to go. Now." We hid at Ethan's cousin's place in Venice, a cramped apartment that smelled like weed and pizza. Mom told me everything. Project Nexus was a CIA experiment gone wrong, and the collectors were rogue agents who'd been hunting her since she escaped. She'd stayed away to protect me, but they'd caught her 5 years ago. "I never wanted this for you," she said, tears in her eyes. I wanted to be mad, but I just hugged her. Over the next few days, I tried to piece together what was left of my mind. I'd lost so much, memories of my childhood, my friends. Even Ethan's face felt fuzzy. He sat with me one night, explaining how he'd been running from the collectors his whole life. "You're a badass, Mia," he said, grinning, "but you gotta stop using it." I nodded, but deep down, I wasn't sure I could. The collectors were still out there, and I wasn't letting them win. Then Chloe showed up, looking guilty. "I talked to the pageant judges," she said. "Told them I lied. They're giving you the scholarship." I blinked, stunned. "Why?" she sighed. "Because you deserve it. And I'm trying to be better." I didn't forgive her. Not fully, but I nodded. "Thanks." A week later, I woke up in a hospital bed, my head pounding. Dad was there, holding my hand, and Mom was beside him, smiling weakly. They said I'd passed out. My brain overloaded from the power. The doctors didn't know what was wrong, but I did. I'd pushed too far. Ethan visited, but I couldn't remember his name. Only that he felt important. "You'll be okay," he said, but his eyes were sad. Mom stayed with us, and we started over. A family again, but I wasn't the same. I'd forgotten so much, my past, my fights, even parts of who I was. I looked in the mirror, seeing a stranger. Still, I felt a spark, a strength I didn't have before. The collectors were out there, but so was I. And if they came for me again, I'd be ready, memories or not. Thanks for watching my insane journey. I lost memories but gained strength and family. This is about fighting for what's right, no matter the cost. If you loved it, hit like, subscribe, and share with your crew. Let's keep the vibe strong. Catch you next time.